Something feels different about this team right now, and if you've been following everything coming out of camp, you've probably noticed it too. There are a few storylines that seem connected, a few comments that have fans talking, and honestly, it feels like we might already know where things are heading even before the team makes anything official. The interesting part? One small detail may have revealed a lot more than people expected. And the deeper you look into everything happening behind the scenes, the more intriguing this situation becomes. Before we dive into it, make sure to hit that like button if you're excited for Vikings football, and let me know down in the comments, SKOL. If you're a real Vikings fan, I want to see that purple pride showing up in the comment section. One unexpected comment from Kevin O'Connell may have revealed far more than the Minnesota Vikings intended. And if you were paying close attention, it might have given away one of the biggest decisions surrounding this football team heading into the upcoming season. During recent comments about J.J. McCarthy, O'Connell appeared to make a slip that immediately caught the attention of Vikings observers. While discussing McCarthy's work ethic, leadership, and presence around the team, O'Connell praised him by saying he had been excellent in meetings, great on the field, and had continued to demonstrate leadership qualities as a former captain. A former captain. That single phrase instantly raised eyebrows. Why? Because captaincy within the Vikings organization is not something that gets casually assigned. There is a process. There is voting. There is evaluation. Leadership positions carry significant weight inside the locker room. When O'Connell referred to McCarthy as a former captain, it sounded less like a random mistake and more like someone speaking from a reality that already exists inside team headquarters. And that leads to a much bigger question. Has the Vikings coaching staff already decided who their starting quarterback will be? For months, the organization has maintained the appearance of a quarterback competition. Publicly, there has been uncertainty. Publicly, there have been discussions about earning opportunities. Publicly, the team has avoided making a definitive declaration. But behind the scenes, does everyone already know the answer? The growing belief around the organization is that Kyler Murray is firmly positioned to become Minnesota's QB1. In fact, several comments made recently seem to point in that exact direction. The idea of a quarterback battle has become increasingly difficult to believe. The more information that comes out of practices, meetings, and coaching discussions, the more it feels like the outcome has already been determined. If Murray is indeed the starter, many are wondering why the Vikings have continued presenting this situation as an open competition. There is an argument that complete transparency might actually benefit the team. If Murray is the guy, name him the guy. Give him every first-team rep. Allow him to fully establish chemistry with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jawan Jennings, and the rest of the offense. Allow the entire locker room to rally behind one clear leader before the regular season begins. That belief gained even more momentum when discussion shifted toward the quarterback depth chart itself. Reports continue to suggest there is little uncertainty regarding who would start Week 1 against Green Bay. The real debate may not be QB1. The real debate may be QB2. The possibility of Carson Wentz serving as the primary backup has become a significant talking point. From a purely practical standpoint, there is logic behind that approach. If Murray were forced to miss a game or two because of a minor injury, the veteran experience of Wentz could provide stability. In a short-term situation, the coaching staff may feel more comfortable relying on a quarterback who has extensive NFL experience rather than immediately turning to McCarthy. However, the conversation changes dramatically if the absence becomes long-term. If Murray were to miss months rather than weeks, many believe the Vikings would eventually turn to McCarthy. Not because he is the safer option, not because he is the more polished option, but because his upside remains significantly higher. The organization still sees potential in McCarthy. The question is whether that potential aligns with the current timeline of this football team. And that timeline may be the most important factor in this entire discussion. There is pressure surrounding the Vikings this season. Pressure on the coaching staff, pressure on the front office, pressure to win immediately. This is not a rebuilding roster. This is a roster built to compete. That reality makes every quarterback decision more significant than ever. Recent reports have also highlighted how impressed coaches and teammates have been with Murray away from the field. Learning the playbook, building relationships inside the locker room, developing chemistry with teammates, understanding the offensive system. Those details matter. Quarterback success isn't determined solely by throws made during practice. Leadership matters. Preparation matters. Communication matters. And according to reports coming out of the organization, Murray has continued checking every box presented to him. That makes the need for first-team repetitions even more important. Every snap with Jefferson matters. Every throw to Addison matters. Every rep with the offensive line matters. Every opportunity to build timing within O'Connell's offense matters, especially considering the expectations surrounding this team entering the season. The Vikings are not preparing for the future. They're trying to win now. And that reality may ultimately explain why the quarterback conversation appears to be moving steadily toward one conclusion, regardless of how carefully the organization continues to phrase it publicly. If Kevin O'Connell's comment truly was a glimpse behind the curtain, Vikings fans may have already received the answer they've been waiting for. The question now is not whether the decision has been made. The question is when the Vikings will officially tell everyone. What do you think, Vikings fans? Was Kevin O'Connell's former captain comment simply a harmless mistake? Or did it accidentally reveal that Kyler Murray has already secured the QB1 job? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. While the quarterback debate continues to dominate headlines, another major storyline quietly emerged from Vikings OTAs, and it could end up being just as important to Minnesota's success this season. Christian Darrisaw delivered the kind of update Vikings fans have been desperately hoping to hear. After battling through injury concerns, the star left tackle revealed that his knee feels better than it has in nearly 2 years. Those words should immediately grab the attention of everyone following this team. It's the best it's felt in 2 years. That isn't just positive news. That's potentially franchise-changing news. Last season, the Vikings experienced firsthand how difficult it becomes to operate an offense when there is instability at one of football's most important positions outside of quarterback. The revolving door at left tackle created challenges throughout the offense. Protection schemes had to change. Game plans had to adjust. Consistency became difficult to establish. Even Kevin O'Connell recently acknowledged how challenging it can be to prepare every week when uncertainty exists at critical positions. That's why Darrisaw's progress matters so much. When healthy and playing at his best, Darrisaw isn't simply a good left tackle. He's one of the elite players at his position in the entire NFL. Vikings fans remember the version of Darrisaw that routinely shut down premier edge rushers. Week after week, he lined up against some of the league's most dangerous pass rushers and held his own. Whether it was speed, power, or elite athleticism coming off the edge, Darrisaw consistently provided stability on the blind side. That's the player Minnesota needs back. And according to both Darrisaw and O'Connell, the organization feels encouraged by where he currently stands physically. Of course, there is still pressure. A lot of pressure. The expectations are enormous because the Vikings believe they have assembled a roster capable of competing at a high level. For that to happen, the offensive line must take a major step forward. The talent is there. Brian O'Neill remains one of the most respected veterans on the line. Will Fries continues learning the system. The younger players are gaining valuable experience, And if Darisaw returns to his previous form, the entire group immediately becomes stronger. Continuity could end up being the difference. Health could end up being the difference. Because when this offensive line functions properly, it unlocks everything else the Vikings want to accomplish offensively. It protects the quarterback. It creates opportunities in the running game. And it allows Minnesota's elite receiving corps to fully take advantage of their talent. Speaking of that receiving corps, the Vikings received some significant recognition recently. A Bleacher Report ranking named Minnesota's wide receiver room the best in the NFL. Considering the talent currently on the roster, it's difficult to argue against that assessment. Justin Jefferson remains one of football's premier playmakers. Jordan Addison continues developing into one of the league's most dangerous complementary weapons. Jawan Jennings adds another proven target capable of creating mismatches. And behind them, Minnesota continues adding depth and competition. The most exciting part? This group believes there is another level they haven't reached yet. Jefferson himself has spoken about returning to the dominant standard he set earlier in his career. The expectation inside the organization is that he can once again produce at an elite level. If that happens, and if the quarterback position stabilizes, and if Darisaw returns to full strength, this offense could become one of the most dangerous units in football. That's why the coming weeks are so important. The quarterback situation appears to be nearing a resolution. The offensive line is getting healthier. The receiving corps is loaded with talent. And expectations inside Minnesota continue to rise. The pieces are there. Now the Vikings have to prove they can put everything together when the games start to count. Do you believe the Vikings have what it takes to make a serious run this season? And do you think Christian Darisaw returning to full health could be one of the biggest factors in the team's success? Leave your thoughts below. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this report. And don't forget to subscribe for more Minnesota Vikings coverage all season long.